Hello and welcome to this tutorial in which I want to give you a quick tour of all the features in doozzoo. Doozzoo is the very first and only platform truly designated for online music tutoring and features groundbreaking technology like local latency compensation and internal apps that make teaching and learning super easy. It works completely online in your browser, so there's no need to install any software. Just visit doozzoo.com in your preferred browser. We recommend that you use Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox on a computer though, because these offer a great stability and performance. Of course, doozzoo works on mobile devices like smartphones or tablets too. In this case, make sure to use the native browser of your device like Safari or Chrome for example, and take a look at our help center for some notes on compatibility regarding those devices. And now let's jump right in and check out all of doozzoo's amazing features. When you open the doozzoo homepage, you can first choose another language on this button if necessary. In the middle of the screen, you can see the button to sign up for a new account. If you want to sign up as a new user, click the button Register. You can either choose to log in with one of your social media accounts or just enter your personal email, confirm it, choose a password, confirm this one too, and click on Register. Now check your emails, copy the link we sent to you, paste it in your browser and open the website. Now you can complete your profile. First choose if you want to sign up as a free student or subscribe for a pro coach account. Then fill in your details. The student account requires only your name. As a coach, please enter your address, date of birth and phone number as well. As a student, you're ready to go. If you sign up as a coach, you now need to choose the plan that fits your needs. You can choose the number of students you want to teach and the payment interval and fill in your desired payment method. After clicking Subscribe Now, you have the option to book this session archiving feature. If it is activated, you can record a whole session inside doozzoo, download it and send it to your students. This add-on feature is paid by recorded minutes, so you need to activate it first before using it. All these settings can be changed in your profile at any time. The pre-session check is your place to adjust all video and audio settings. On the left, you'll find a list of available video sources. Select the camera you want to use. During your session, it will be possible to switch between all connected sources. You can also mirror your video, which might be handy if you look at yourself on the screen. In the middle, you can switch between the headphone mode and the speaker mode. Choose the one that fits your setup. So if you're using headphones, which we always recommend, choose headphone mode, otherwise you want to use the speaker mode. Don't worry about the checkboxes below. They will adjust to the audio mode automatically. After choosing the right mode, click on Save Settings. The audio input can be set on the right. Choose your interface or microphone from the list and check the level meter to see if there's audio coming in. If your desired interface doesn't appear in the list, you should make sure you choose it as your system's audio input before starting your browser. If then you choose Default, doozzoo will automatically use this current system audio input. One of doozzoo's special audio features is that you can set the bitrate for the audio you send out. For the best quality, select 192,000 bit. If you experience any connection problems during your sessions, you can try to select a lower bitrate. Below this, you can switch between mono and stereo. Please be aware that you can only use the first two inputs of your interface. So if, for example, you're using a microphone on one input and an instrument on the other, you want to make sure the audio channels are set to mono, so both audio sources are audible in the middle. If you have something like an extra audio mixer connected to your interface, you can set the audio channels to stereo for the full stereo experience. Select Audio Output lets you choose the output or interface your headphones or speakers are connected to. Whenever you experience any strange behavior in doozzoo or you're reading about an update, please make sure you click on Refresh doozzoo version to make sure you're using the latest updates with all new features and settings. The last thing we want to look at is the microphone latency compensation. This is one of doozzoo's most powerful features. It measures the time it takes your audio to travel from your computer through your headphones and your microphone back into doozzoo, so we can sync your playing perfectly to the metronome or audio player inside doozzoo. If you click on Recalculate here, you enter this page. Now make sure you place your headphones or speakers and your microphone as close to each other as possible. Try not to make any noise and click Start. You will hear several clicks until the test is finished. If you see one peak, you should save the value by clicking the blue button. If there are more peaks, there might have been too much noise during the test, so please refresh the page and run the test again. Make sure you repeat the test every once in a while, and definitely every time you changed any components in your audio setup. Now that you adjusted all the settings to your liking, you can enter the session. This can be done in two ways depending on your role. Later in this video I will show you how you can access a session if you're a student. But first let's focus on opening a session as a coach. To do that, just hit the big blue Start Session button. To get a complete overview of all the features inside doozzoo, we'll look at the session from the view of the coach account. So some of the features mentioned here are not accessible for the student or can only be controlled by the coach. When a student tries to enter the room, this banner shows up. You can allow the student to enter by clicking OK, or you open the students list where you can see that the student's name can now be found in the waiting area. When you grant access by activating the switch, the student can connect and his or her video appears and the name can now be found in the In Session section of the list. The lock on the top right makes it possible to open the session to all your students so they can enter at any time. The access switches are changed automatically, or you leave the session closed so you have to allow every single student to enter. There are some options to change the video view. Checking the box of a video will make this picture big and the other one will get small. Here you can change the screen coverage of the video so there are no blank spaces left. You can also mute the sound of a participant. If you want to have both pictures at the same size, you can switch to this view here. The lock icon here functions just the same like the lock in the students list. We want to leave the session closed, so no one can disturb us now. The blue menu bar at the bottom contains all the features you'll need during your sessions. The little house icon on the left lets you leave the session and you're brought back to the doozzoo homepage. The speech bubble opens the chat window, which can be used to send text messages or links, etc. The icon will change to yellow when you receive a message. The media library is the perfect place to host all your lesson material, like PDFs or MP3s. More about this in a minute. Next to the media button you can open the participants list, which we saw before, and next to that we have a button to launch the apps. We will take a closer look at the apps later. But first let's look at the remaining buttons. Here you can switch through your video sources and turn your camera and your microphone on and off. This slider changes the play direction, which will be important when we talk about the audio apps. Next to it there is an option to record the whole session. Because of the big amount of data this creates, it is only available as an add-on feature, as mentioned before during the registration process. If you want to display content from other programs, you can share your screen and define if you want to share your whole screen, a specific window, or one of your browser tabs. When you're done, click on the icon again to stop the screen sharing. By clicking on the icon on the far right, the address of your session is copied, so you can paste it in an email or message and send it to someone else who is not connected to you as a student. That gives you the ability to check out doozzoo together for a maximum of 10 minutes. Let's go back to the media library, which can be opened in the menu bar. You can upload your files by dragging them onto this field or click on Select File and then choose the desired file from your computer. This file will then show up in your media library. You can rename the file if you want to. The first symbol next to the name opens it. I'll show you more about that in a second. The next option opens the list of all your students. Checking the box next to a name shares the file with that student, so it can be found in the Shared with Me section in his or her media library. Of course, you can also delete the file or download it to your computer. As I said, you can open a file inside the session. Of course, you can change the size of the window, zoom into the PDF, and flip through the pages. A special feature is the ability to remote control the PDF. If you click here, the PDF opens on the student side, and everything you're changing will affect his or her PDF window too. If you open an MP3, you will see this audio player, which we call Looper. Of course, you can also change the size of the Looper window, zoom into the waveform, play the audio, and set the locator back to the beginning. And here you can change the tempo and also transpose the audio by up to 7 semitones up and down. If you click into the waveform, you can set the position of the locator. Clicking and dragging creates this highlighted section, which will then be looped. You can drag the beginning and ending of the loop, turn the loop function on and off, or choose to loop the whole file with a single click. The looper can also be remote controlled by clicking the same button as in the PDF viewer, but the audio will only be generated on one side. This play direction can be changed by the switch in the menu bar. If it is set to You Play, Student Listen, the audio will play on your computer and be sent together with your voice and your instrument to the student perfectly synchronized. If you change the position of the switch to You Listen, Student Play, the audio plays on your student's computer so he or she can sing or play along and you can hear the signals in sync. In order for the audio to be in sync, it is important that every coach and student runs the microphone latency compensation test, which we talked about earlier in the pre-session check. Clicking the app icon in the menu bar opens a bunch of windows with different apps. You can drag this line to change their position or drag it to the bottom, which minimizes all apps. You can also minimize individual apps with the minimize symbol. The first app is the tuner. You can adjust the frequency of the concert pitch in a range between 415 and 444 Hz. Then turn on the microphone, so the tuner will measure the pitch of your instrument, or it can play a sine wave of the concert pitch. The metronome is just as easy to use. Start it by clicking the play button. Use the arrows to change the tempo, or enter it directly. You can also choose a time signature from the drop-down menu and change the accents of the individual beats. The checkbox lets you remote control the student's metronome, which works the same way as the remote function of the looper, so either of the participants can play along with the metronome by setting the play direction switch to the corresponding position. The recorder lets you record your performance. Choose if you want to record only audio or also video, select the desired audio and video input, and hit the record button. When you stop the recording, you can enter a name for your clip, click Save Clip, and the clip will appear in your recording list. Here you can rename it at any time, upload it to your media library, from where you can open it like your other files, or delete it. The Mixer app gives you control over the volume of your own microphone, the metronome, and the looper if opened. The checkboxes below the faders are set automatically by the play direction switch, so you don't have to worry about those. The plus and minus buttons can be used to adjust the amount of latency compensation during the session. Sometimes you might recognize that the looper or metronome are not in sync with your counterpart. In that case, ask them to adjust the latency value until it sounds better. But usually running the microphone latency compensation test on a regular basis should do the trick. Now let's leave the session and take a quick look at the remaining features outside the lesson. The media and apps section include the same features as in the session. You can upload files, organize and share them, and even use the PDF viewer and the looper. The tuner, metronome, and recorder are also available. My Coaches gives you a list of all your connected coaches, and this is where you can let your coach know that you're ready to join. The moment your coach grants you access, you can join the session by clicking the button again. If you're a coach, you can also view a list of all your students. If you change the switch position to access denied, you will disappear from the students' My Coaches list and they can't ask for access to your session. They will also not appear in the participants list inside the session. Clicking on Remove will delete the connection between you and your student, and you will have to invite them as a student again to be able to connect. Inviting students can be done in the next step. Here you have to create an invite link, copy it, and send it to a new student. They need to open the link in their browser and log in or sign up as a new user if they haven't already, and then they're connected to you and will appear in your student list. When you click on the avatar next to the doozzoo logo, you can log out, reset your password, and access your profile. Your profile settings can be changed at any time, and you can also book a pro account if you haven't upgraded already, or change your current plan to adjust it to your needs. I hope this video was helpful and you're ready to start your online music lesson experience. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel to get more useful information like tutorials, gear tips and a lot more. If you have any further questions, you can go to our doozzoo Help Center. Most questions can be answered there. And if you don't find what you need, don't hesitate to send us a support request and we will respond to you as soon as possible. Thank you for watching, and now I wish you a lot of fun with doozzoo.